That's where I grew up. So did I have a silver spoon? Did I have a bronze spoon? I didn't even have a spoon, yo. My first business, I sold toothpicks when I was in fifth grade. And I had sold cinnamon toothpicks for 5 cents at my school. And what happened was, one day, I would take them, I'd put cinnamon on them, I'd let them dry, I'd put them in the bag, and I'd go to school and I'd sell cinnamon toothpicks. And I was rolling in the dough at 6 years old, man, 7 years old, man. I was money bags. But one day, I forgot to dry off the cinnamon because I had a big fulfillment order, and I took them, and what happens, I took the cinnamon, I put it in the cinnamon extract, I put it in the bag all wet. So I took them, and I just shook them off, and I gave them to people, right, and sold them for 5 cents. And in the entire class, 5th grade, it was like 2nd or 3rd grade, the entire class broke out in hives. Complete class broke out in hives. My dad came, my dad's a police officer, right? Made no more than $40,000 a year. He had a police officer uniform, and I'm sitting there in the principal's office going, I'm a loser. It's terrible. Prior U.S. Marine, this is the Gulf War. Any veterans here? Veterans! Boom! Prior U.S. Marine, went to war. Talk about life-changing. Talk about second chances. I didn't think I was coming back. I came back and we hit Hawaii back on ship, and I kissed the United States ground because I didn't think I was going to come back. I'm telling you, you don't want to live in Iraq. You don't want to live in Saudi Arabia. We were in Oman. We had to sleep outside in Oman, right? And there was this bug this big that buried its head in my back. I woke up in the morning and go, ow, what's that? And this big thing's dangling out of my back. And I pulled up my shirt and the guy's like, what the heck is that? And this bug buried his head in my back. They had to burn its tail off till it backed its head out. My second business, you ever go in those businesses where you recruit your friends and those friends other recruit friends and those friends recruit friends? Yeah, okay. Third business, commodities trading, gold and silver. So the whole thing was in the year 2000. The market's gonna, Y2K, remember Y2K? Yeah. I bought a bunch of gold options, man. Y2K, man, the world's gonna crash. What a moron that was. Boom, dead. So I said, I got a job. How many people have a job? How many people love your job? Some people do, they love their jobs, right? How many people just can't wait to quit? That's the motivation. Walk into your boss and say, I'm done, right? I was searching. And see, that's what's great about this. If you start searching, you don't really know what you want, but you put it out there, searching. My wife goes, you should be a realtor. So I said, all these books on realtors and this, that, and the other are being written, real estate and da-da-da. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be a realtor. I don't know if I want to show houses and this, that, and the other. So I decided not to. But at the time, the job I was doing, I was selling pools in landscape packages. So I was driving to people's houses, I was going to their houses, I was designing their pools in their landscape, right? And that's what I did. And on a Saturday afternoon, I was driving down the freeway. This guy on the radio talked about how you could flip houses using no cash and no credit. And I had a preconceived notion. I thought you had to have cash and credit. I thought you had to do that. I thought you had to buy a rental property or do something. I thought that's what you had to do. But what happened was, I didn't know what I didn't know. So this guy on the radio had people on there talking about how you could make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. I was like, wow, what a scam. That's what I thought. I'm originally from New England. Everything's a scam from New England, right? Who's from New England here? Jersey? Everything's a scam, right? So I was like, that's a scam, and I turned the channel. I was like, this is bogus. So I turned around, right, and turned the channel, continued to drive down the road to my pool and landscape appointment up in Litchfield Park. I was driving down the freeway, and it was God's intervention. I tell you that right now. It was God. I had this gut, you know how you have the weird gut feeling, and I was like, there's something. God's intervention. I turned the channel back. I continued to listen to what he said, and he talked about the concept of wholesaling, what we're talking about here, the business of wholesaling. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is the best business. You can build a lifestyle business. Like, I think we closed, 5 or 6 deals this week? Over $100,000 in revenue just this week. And I didn't see one house. I didn't sign one document. I didn't talk to one buyer. I didn't talk to one seller. I didn't book one appointment. I didn't go on one appointment. Because it's automated through the process of building a business, of being an owner instead of an operator. There's a lot of people in VIP day. Guess what? They're running around doing everything. They're making money. You can make $250,000, $300,000 a year and crush it all by yourself and have a blast doing it. Or you can build a business where you can be an operator and you can sit on the entire thing and just crush it. You do amazing things. I went out and I learned that program I took 2 credit cards, my wife's $250 First Premier, my gold card, and put those together, bought a $500 course on how to knock on pre-foreclosure doors. So I went out and I knocked on pre-foreclosure doors. I got a list, knocked on doors, and has anyone ever knocked on doors before? Say yes. You have? That many people? It sucks, doesn't it? First house I walked up to, man, I was scared. I had Think and Grow Rich booming in my car, and I drove up to the house, and I was like, I drove back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth in front of the house. And there was a huge truck that was lifted with these Mac Daddy huge tires. And it wasn't in the driveway, it was on the front grass, but there was no grass because it was all dirt because they didn't have any water on. So they parked right in the front. In case I walked up and I knew what I was gonna say. Hi, my name's Sean Terry. Can I help you with your house before it goes to foreclosure in a couple weeks? That's what I was gonna say, right? So I walked up, I had my notepad. I walked up, I'm sitting there going, my little notepad, and I knocked on the door. And it wasn't a door, it was like a screen door because the other door was open. This was May of 2003. And there was a screen door. So I knocked on the screen door and it kind of shook. And you know when you have these screen doors and someone comes behind you really can't see them? So this dude kind of stands behind the screen door and I could smell him, the woof of him just came up, right? And he opens the screen door, he goes, "What do you want?" And I'm sitting there going, he was like 6'4", 6'5". I'm 6'1", prior U.S. Marine. As tall as you, huge, right? 6 foot, whatever, shaved head, sweaty, in the tank top, hair all sticking out. "What do you want?" And I'm a Marine sitting there going, I'm literally, my tongue swole up like a watermelon. It was sitting there, I could not. I was like a bumbling fool. I was like, and I couldn't, you know how you're frustrating because you're trying to get something out, but it's just not happening? And the guy he looks at me like one of those dogs that goes, "Huh?" And I literally turned around, put my tail between my legs, hustled back to the car, opened my car, because I parked down the street, closed the door, and I'm like, there is no way I can do this. I was like, I quit. And this is before I knew beast mode or any of that type of stuff. I was like, I quit. This sucks. It's too hard. But then I go, what if I don't do this? What if I don't? What if I don't? And if I chose right there that it was too hard, it was too difficult, I can't do it, then you guys wouldn't be here today. That one choice Change happens in moments. And all the previous time brought me up to that point, and I'm like, gotta do it. What if I don't? Because I didn't want to go back selling pools. So what happens? Built Phoenix Wholesale Homes, launched Flip2Freedom in 2010. I recorded my first podcast in my car at 120 degrees out in Phoenix, Arizona. In my car. Because I didn't have an office. I was at home, right? And my kids are running around screaming. My wife is like, oh, honey, to-do list and stuff like that. And I'm like, I can't record here. So I didn't have an office. Where do I go? So I went to my car and I sat in a parking lot and I went and I recorded the first episode for the Flip2Freedom podcast. And I remember I first started, I had the AC on because it was hot out. But I hear the blowing of the AC in the mic. So I was like, I can't do that. Right? So I turned off the car and I sat in the car with my little mic and my recorder. And I was like, welcome to the Flip2Freedom, in the car. And a year later, we launched the Flip2Freedom Academy. We launched 1-800-FAIR-OFFER with Alex Youngblood, crushed it, Velocity Capital. There's our office there at the Citadel. And this is my why. It's my wife on the left. Been married for 21 years this November 16th. And she is the true rock star, I can tell you that. She is I'm married up big time. I'm married up. I would not be the man I am today without her at all. There's my 18-year-old. She is at GCU studying nursing. Great kid. And my 14-year-old, she's a little rock star. She actually sang the national anthem at the Yankees Diamondbacks game last year and crushed it. Crushed it. This kid, I don't know where she gets it. She gets up there, 55,000 people televised, gets the mic, walks up there and crushes the national anthem. I'm sitting there shaking for her, right? I mean, there's like 300 people here. There's 55,000, right? She went to the beach, she turns around and goes, let's do it again. I was like, that's my girl. Watch out for her though, she's crushing it. I love making moments. Love making moments. We took an amazing vacation to Turks and Caicos, first class, stayed in, anyone been to Turks and Caicos? Amazing, one person. Oh, you gotta go. You guys gotta make some money and go. Yeah, Alex Youngblood actually told me about Turks and Caicos. I told my wife about it, did research on it. We got a private villa with a butler on a phone. You just call them and say, hey, I want this. They bring it to you. I want this. They bring it to you for 10 days, all inclusive. You want to have an unbelievable. It got a little wiped out by the hurricane, unfortunately, but amazing, amazing vacation. This is one of my houses. Cars, I just bought those cars a couple weeks ago, stuff like that. But that's one of my favorite spots. I have a house in Dana Point, California. I go out for a month every year, hang out with the family. That's one of my most favorite spots, right in Dana Point, Cal. It's amazing, awesome place. There's this crew. Now here's the deal. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter how good or bad your past was, what city you come from. Whatever happened in the past is temporary. It's gone. Right now is where everything happens. Right now, from this point forward. Right now. So it doesn't matter. If your life sucked before, guess what? Right now, it's going to change. And not only are you going to learn all the tactics, you're going to learn the mindset and skills to make that choice. So who's with me? Say yes. You guys ready to rock and roll?